we got to get out of here. So I don't know what this is about. It's outrageous.
Oh, this is such bullshit. I mean, it's not such, but it's such comedy, okay? I mean, so Tucker's talking about his his experience with Israel and their intelligence when he went to interview Mike Huckabee. And he starts off, okay, talking about how horrible because he was too afraid to meet Mike Huckabee in Israel. Well, he would have good reason, in my opinion, okay? I'm not trying to say anything against Israel, but you've sat in America and you are anti-Semites. If Candace Owens or the Young Turks or any of you Jew haters stepped in Israel, I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't be going into Israel either. Not because I think they'd hurt you. I think they just would mess with you just to mess with you. Because you're clearly anti-Semites, okay? If the entire country wants to fall for this bullshit narrative and not see it biblically for what it is, and I'm not talking about when they say, oh, those who bless Israel, bless. No, it's just a matter of being, what you people have done has been cruel. It's been cruel. And you have wrapped it around, the Palestinians who chant, to the river, to the sea bullshit. Okay, I mean, I'm so old. I've heard it for a decade, more than a decade, okay? And then to see you and Candace and all, and you know what? If I can tell that you hate Jews, no matter how much you say, no, it's just the government. No, Tucker. No, you even at the beginning of this clip are bashing because he would only interview Mike Huckabee, and you could tell he's nervous, okay? All right, and I mean, Mossad is known for the best intelligence in the world, okay? They'd have to be, okay? Because they have to deal with shit like this all the time. So, I mean, he would be a security risk in my opinion. I'm not saying he would do anything. If I was Israel just to mess with him, I'd be like, yeah, well, we're going to take your passports. But, he goes on to say, we weren't scared. Well, you clearly said you were too afraid to go into Israel to do the interview, Tucker. So clearly something in your conscience is telling you, I haven't been very friendly to the Israeli people. You would say, no, it's just the government. No, you, Candace, all of you, you're a total network. You're obsessed with Israel. You're obsessed with your hatred for it. It goes above and beyond. And to see the amount of people that buy into that regurgitation, it screams to me, really, are Americans this stupid? Really? It's because it's been obvious to me since the beginning what it's about. I mean, first of all, they prove the Bible, that the Bible says that this is what these people do. The constant persecution of the Jews. Yeah, so when you're sitting there persecuting them and then they take your passports, I mean, I would have taken your passports too. But and he rips on the airport. He's like, oh, this place was just so, it's like, could you act any more? Seriously, Tucker. I mean, come on. Israel, that's the best intelligence. I think their intelligence is probably better than ours. That's what I've read. Because they have to be. They're on alert constantly. Okay? And so for years now, you've been going after them. They wouldn't do anything. They would just mess with you. That's what I think they did. But he goes on to, and what he's trying to do is he's just trying to cause a rift. That's what he's trying to do. That's what him, Candace, all of them are trying to do. I mean, they are. I hear everybody say, oh, Candace is right about everything. She has. Don't you see what happens to these people? Once that ugly demon of because it is. It's worse than any kind of other racism, the anti-Semitism, because it's like you can see how God's handed them over. Because then they become consumed and obsessed with anything and everything Israel. Then you know God's handed them over. Because God isn't going to tolerate it. He's not. He'll hand you over quickly for it. Okay, you can make it, and I'm saying that not based on bless Israel. I'm not even saying it based on that. I'm saying it based on the history of the Bible and their history. That if you want to be that biblically stupid, then you're all stupid human beings. I mean, you could see they become very ugly. Their eyes become dark. Okay, you can see what God does because they've been, they try to claim, oh, we don't know if these are the real Jews. Tucker, when interviewing Mike Huckabee, wants DNA testing done on them. I mean, it's like, stop it. Stop it. Do you know how big Israel is? All this because of this tiny, tiny little strip of land. And people like him and Candace, they just want to help curse America, not because you have to bless Israel, but because that's the epitome. Their hated, their cold-hearted hearts is the epitome of what curses the earth. Period. Okay, I mean, talking about cursing the earth. But you prove everything God. I mean, like the fact that doesn't come into your mind is shocking to me. But I mean, this is ridiculous. I would have told. So Tucker didn't want to go into Israel. He wanted to meet. He was too scared because he knows he's been bashing that country. So what country do you know you can go into, really except America, but any country in the Middle East, okay, that you could go into when you've been sitting in your country, bashing that country in a hard way for years? That isn't going to maybe make your life a little uncomfortable just to stick it to you. But he's trying to make it seem like the U.S. government was behind this, and how could this be going on? Well, when you go after the Jewish people for as long as you and Candace and the rest of you, Dave Smith and all of you people, you really shouldn't go visiting Israel, in my opinion. Not because they'll do any, but I mean, it's rude. It's in bad taste because you show that you mean to tell, you don't know, those people know it. Even if it's just at the government, if I could see that you people don't even recognize, you have no self-awareness, how you end up just lumping everybody into it. It's ugly. You really, really should be begging God for mercy that he hasn't handed you over, okay? That's really what you should be worrying about. But I think some of you know your job is to try to get Americans to hate Israel. Take away, everybody's focused on those who bless Israel. No, it's not even about that. It's about the whole history with the Jews. Okay, it's about just being a person with a heart. Okay? That's it. That's it. Just have that's God doesn't care if you want to, question the government. Even Netanyahu himself has said it's okay. You can question our God. I mean, they don't care. Okay, but you, Candace, Dave Smith, there's a whole bunch of you. You know who you are. You go too far. You're obsessed. It's like you need an exorcism from your consumption of Jew this, Israel. It's that bad. And then for you to start out by saying, and that airport, it was so trashy. And it's like you can't even just leave their airport alone, Tucker. And you don't have enough insight to see how you are the problem here. But the American people will follow you straight into hell, right? I mean, unless it's just bots in your comment section, but who knows? You got everybody in his comment section saying, oh yeah, the American government Israel owns the American government. No, they don't. No, they don't. When Trump pulled out remember months ago, Trump pulled out the seat for Netanyahu, you knew that that was going to trigger all of them. You think he didn't do it for that reason? Because you make yourselves look stupid. You do. The Young Turks look stupid. Candace looks stupid. You look stupid. Because anybody with a brain that doesn't have this kind of hate that you guys do sees that there is some sort of demon possession going on with you people. I can see it because you go too far. And then they want to get you so enraged to make you believe that Israel controls our government. No, we've always controlled theirs. It's the fact. Because we give them money. And you may say, yeah, we have to stop giving. Look, we don't give them troops. That's the other thing. With all the wars we have gone into, they're good enough. They don't need our troops. Okay? But they try to tell you, oh, we went into Iraq because, you know what? No, we have enough problems in our own government. Okay? but this was absolutely laughable.